Hello Taurus friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Taurus November 2023 Astrology Horoscope Forecast. This is the 7-minute astrology highlights version of my monthly report. This is for you if Taurus is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other Taurus placement you're listening for. What I'm going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. And if you're a very late degree Taurus friend, so birthdays like May 15th through the rest of the sign, or Taurus placement like 23 degrees to the rest of the sign, I suggest you additionally listen to my Gemini report, as your very late degree friends will benefit from both readings. We've got another month of very busy skies, a lot of planetary connections, some sweet, some a nuisance. You'll definitely be feeling it. Some of the intensity hopefully will start to be lighter, at least than October, because what's different about this month compared to October is that we had 2 eclipses in October. And even though we're technically in eclipse season and you may see news come in, life-changing information and events happening that are a carryover from what had been instigated in recent months and also recent years as we've moved through this Taurus-Scorpio eclipse cycle, you all have been in the hot seat. And one of the eclipses that happened in October was an eclipse in your sign that ended out 2 years of the Taurus-Scorpio eclipse storyline. So y'all have been going through it. I'm aware of that. I want to take a moment to acknowledge it because I'm sure many of you are tired. And even if you are having great manifestations, which is totally possible, a lot of times, it comes at either some trade-offs or sacrifice, or a lot of work, or, just a lot of changes that can be bittersweet. So we're going to talk about the highlights of the general sky and how they relate to the Taurus chart and experience. I'm not going to talk too much about that eclipse, even though it's a very big deal for you, because I talked about that a lot in September and October. So if you want to listen to my Taurus October and September reports, you'll get more insight into those storylines because they are big. And this is a really big time of culmination of important events and karmic clearing and stepping into your highest expression. It's a very momentous time for Taurus. Now, as if this storyline of my stuff, Taurus, versus our stuff, Scorpio, weren't enough with this 2 years of the, eclipse storyline, we enter November with a ton of energy in Scorpio. We've got the Sun, Mars, Mercury, star goddess Ceres, and then on November 13th, we've got a new moon at 20 degrees of Scorpio. So that is just a ton of Scorpio energy. So this whole thing of me versus we and our stuff versus, my stuff is not going away yet. And there are more storylines. The axis that's being activated in the chart for you is the 1st and 7th house. Houses are fields of experience that we have as humans. And the 1st house relates to self and your physical body. The 7th house relates to relationships in your, relationship space. And so those are being accentuated very strongly, both from Jupiter going through Taurus, your sign, and through, these shorter term Scorpio energies. So there's still information coming in. There's still deals and connections and contracts and things that have to be dealt with. And that's going to continue this month. And it can be very overstimulating and make you feel like you're being pulled in lots of different directions. That new moon and the days around the 13th will affect all of you with new beginnings of financial or emotional, relationships, paying off debt or accessing credit or marriage or business deals. But those of you who are closest to 20 degrees, so we'll say between 15 and 25 degrees, the closer to 20 degrees, the more of a direct contact you'll have from that new moon. And so that's really going to equate to like May 5th through May 15th, and the closer to around May 10th, the more you'll get a direct connection from that. Now, October 7th through November 25th are very important dates to note because this is our last open window free from personal planet retrogrades and their shadow periods for all of 2023. That is relevant because when there is a personal planet retrograde, so personal planets are the ones closest to us, so essentially the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars. But of those 5 planets, only 3 of them go retrograde: Mercury, Venus, Mars. So retrogrades are when one of those 3 planets look like they're going backwards in the sky because their orbit gets to a point from our perspective where they look like they're going backwards. Not really going backwards. But when they are doing that, it affects us tremendously. And I have so many resources on retrogrades. You can just search for Annie Annie Botticelli retrogrades to like learn more about this. But the thing to know for November is that we're not in that, okay? And that's why October 7th through November 25th is so important, because when we're in direct stars, I like to call it this open period where you're putting your boat out to sea. The tides are going out. You can push out all the things that have been getting stored and backed up from this retrograde energy that you've been going inwards and backwards and reflecting and going back over things and trying things and experimenting and making some headway, but still kind of feeling like a hamster on a wheel. So now October, and it's also not a time to force things, the retrogrades, or try to make things happen. But October 7th through November 25th is a time to try to make things happen if it's intuitively aligned for you, and to push a bit, and to really see things through. This is going to be the best time for the rest of the year for your big parties, engagements, weddings, big purchases, anything having to do with arrangements or agreements or commitments, investments, big sales, big purchases, all of that stuff. You've got really great stars for that, between October 7th and November 25th. Now, as we get after Black Friday, so if you're doing holiday shopping, it would behoove you to do it in that window as well. And then with the kickoff party, just coincidentally fitting nicely into Black Friday, get all your shopping, making, and buying done, and then chill out, because it's not as easy to buy perfect things and get them on time when Mercury's in retrograde, and the holidays will be covered in that. So it's good to know. In the days around November 27th, we do have a full moon at almost 5 degrees of Gemini. That's bringing fullness, completion, fruition, drama, possibly elucidation, information in the house or field of experience for Taurus of money. There's been a lot of individual, self-sufficiency topics going on in recent months, because that last eclipse, the Taurus eclipse, Taurus rules the second house. And so you've got just more storylines of something coming to culmination financially, ecologically, it could be environmental projects, or it could have to do with communication, writing, teaching, publishing. And it could be a great time to get a new device, especially if we're just before there, the new moon energies start days before the actual new moon, and the full moon energies start days before the actual full moon. So, in the days leading up to this full moon, you may get a new device or car, or you may take a trip, have travel come up. And that would be, generally good use of this energy. If you want more information, including the sweet and salty dates, my list of aspects to be careful and awareful of, and my favorite dates in the month to do important things, including my write-up of the, of the month, and the things to expect, plus my archives, plus all kinds of free things, go to anniehelpsyou.com, put your email address and name in there. Then you'll get free access to my free VIP community, where you'll get lots of free goodies and mini astrology lessons and just all kinds of stuff to help you use astrology in new and wonderful ways. If you want to learn astrology, you can see my secret star portal there, get access to exclusive content and lots of archives. Got a year worth of archives there, so you can check that out. And if you want to learn astrology, I've got a basics course or a Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Certification course. So if you are feeling, this Gemini energy can definitely bring up the topic of teaching and learning. If astrology is the thing that you want to do that, I can help you. So you can see that at anniehelpsyou.com. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.